The Madison football program has fallen on hard times in the last few years. In fact, they have won only 2 games in the last 4 seasons. One of those wins was over the Tigers of Mansfield Senior to end last season. The Tigers, on the other hand, they are playing very well in 2021. In fact, they have locked up a home game in the postseason, but they have not forgotten how the 2020 season ended. It is the Battle of Mansfield coming up next on OH Report.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin. Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not
Podcast.
both?
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm John Marc Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 10 of the 2021 high school football season from Arlin Field as the Tigers of Mansfield Senior host the Madison Rams. I am Brian Harder along with Bruce Wyrick. Welcome to the State Farm pregame show presented by Super Agent Marc Lamoreaux, and this is a game that you played in this game a few years ago. This is a game that, and you hear this all the time in sports, but it's true in this matchup. The records don't matter. What you've done during the regular season leading up to this doesn't matter. These two teams want to end the season beating their crosstown rival.
Yeah, Brian, and you're right about that. In 1971, I ran out of the tunnel, went to the other side. That used to be the home side, the north side. And what a game we had with Madison. It was in a pouring rain. It was a 0-0 tie. But that's what starts it. It started way back then, the crosstown rivalry.
The Madison Rams have struggled this year. They are 0-7. They are 0-5 in the OCC. Mansfield Senior 7-2 overall, 4-1 in conference play. We're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem. We are back here at Arlin Field, just a few minutes away from the opening kickoff. And as I mentioned, Madison 0-7, Mansfield Senior 7-2. The Madison Rams have not won a game since the end of last year when they beat these Tigers out on Esley Lane.
And Ohio State, Michigan, this is it. It's a big game. It's for the bragging rights for the year. And what a black eye for Mansfield Senior last year to end the season.
Now for the Madison Rams, the keys to tonight's game, obviously this is something they can just erase everything that has happened during the season. If they win tonight, they have got to control the football and keep it away from that high-powered Tiger offense.
You want to wear Senior High down. You got to move the ball. You got to move the stakes. You got to make one first down after another.
Secondly, they're not leaving anything in the playbook. They're going to come out and they're just going to let it rip. They're going to come out and play, and they've got nothing to lose.
Onside kicks, fakes here, fake punt, run for it, anything to keep the ball and move it down the field.
Now for the Tigers, it's a little bit different here. They have already have a home playoff game wrapped up. In fact, we're going to be back here next week, but they have to remain focused and not overlook this game.
Yeah, the first thing is 2020. Not only do they got to think about last year's game and what happened to them, but they got to stay focused and be sharp tonight.
Secondly, they have to make sure that they eliminate
Murphy's Law.
Yes.
And I'll give you a great example of this. You can have the greatest game plan in the world, but as we saw last week, Brian, bad snaps hamper the ball game for a team. And then, just when you think everything's going right, all you got to do is punt the ball. It's a low snap, and the kicker puts his knee on the ground. The official blows the ball dead. I don't think I've ever seen that in a ball game for the last couple of years, but it happens. So, Murphy's Law, anything can happen. You got to be ready for it.
Both teams out on the field getting ready for the opening kickoff. Mansfield Senior won the opening coin toss, and they deferred to the second half, so they're going to give the football to the Madison Rams.
In Madison, Senior High won the toss. They deferred. Madison's going to get the opportunity to move the ball downfield. Our first game here, Brian, we saw Mansfield Senior play Norwalk. Mansfield defense is tough. They are playoff caliber defense, and we'll see what Madison has in store for that defense.
Sean Putt has it teed up, and the Battle of Mansfield is underway. It's a squib kick, It's going to be taken at about the 23-yard line, so the Madison Rams will have relatively good field position as they take the field. Offensively, they are led by a freshman quarterback, Cam Kuhn. He's number 14. Isaac Brooks is really their main offensive threat. He runs the ball very well. He's a good receiver. And up front, a very young offensive line.
They run a wing T offense. They try and do a lot of misdirection. When you don't have a big offensive line or a young offensive line, you got to do a little misdirection. Get the defense thinking one way, run the ball the other way.
Now they'll push a receiver wide to each side. The freshman takes the snap. They'll run on their first play of the game, and right away, Elias Owens, the sophomore, makes his presence felt. The defensive starters for the Tigers, and this is a group of studs, and we will get into that more as we go on. Malachi Mays, Miles Bradley, Makai Bradley, Amar Davis, Avion Gross, they have got a lot of playmakers on the defensive side of the ball.
Offense give you great stats, but defense wins championships for you. And if you're going to go anywhere in the playoffs, it's because of your defense.
They're going to stay on the ground. That's Hutchinson with the carry.
And what Madison is trying to do is establish something with the run game. Once you get something going with the run game, it opens up your play-action passes. It opens up your counter plays, your reverses. So many more things can happen. And Madison's offense is very simple. It's not that complex. They're going to run at you and do a little misdirection.
They now have a 3rd down and 6 against this Tiger defense. Dave Stupka told me that they want to stay out of the 3rd and long situations, and this is a manageable play for a young Madison team, but there's a flag, and I think that's going to be procedure against the Rams, and that's also something he talked about. They almost have to play a flawless game. Last year they got a little bit of help because of the weather, but this year they're playing at Arlin Field. The weather is going to be a non-factor, and the Tigers are a little bit motivated after what happened last year.
Yeah, you don't have the type of offense to overcome a mistake, and right now their backs are against the wall.
Isaac Brooks in motion to the far side. The freshman swings it out. It's incomplete. On coverage was Jayante O'Brien, so the Madison Rams go quietly on their first offensive possession.
And again, take a look at that Tiger defense. You win championships. You make a deep run in the playoffs. You don't do it without a defense, and Tigers have a good defense.
Miles Bradley will receive the kick for the Tigers of Mansfield Senior. Bradley watches it take a Madison roll, and it will be down at about the 30. So that's where the Tigers will start things off. The offensive starters for the Tigers, and they are led by their quarterback, Brock Hill. Brock Hill having an outstanding season. He's the team's leading rusher and thrower. The receiving corps in this, on paper, is probably the best receiving corps in North Central Ohio, led by Miles Bradley and Avion Gross.
You put a lot of pressure on defense with skilled players in the outside positions. It spreads the field. It opens up the lanes for your quarterback, and Brock Hill takes advantage of every opening he can get.
Jameer Petty in the backfield. Tigers will stay on the ground. That's Avion Gross taking the direct snap, and he's got a 1st down and then some as he is across midfield at the Madison 45-yard line. So we talked about some trickery for the Madison Rams, and Choky Bradley dips into the Tiger playbook.
Yeah, he kind of goes to a wildcat, put the ball into your best runner, and let him run the open field. And that's what they're doing. They're giving it to their best ball player and trying to get him into the open field.
Avion Gross stays in as the quarterback, so a little wrinkle here for the Tigers, and they have a 1st and 10 in Madison territory. Gross, the ball is on the ground. The flags fly as well. Madison has it, but let's see what the penalty flag is about at the 40.
I don't think it was a penalty. I think it was just the marker where they threw the marker down to mark the ball.
So it's a gain of 5. And it'll be second down and 5. Brock Hill now into the lineup for the Tigers as the quarterback. We'll take a look at the Madison starters after this play defensively. Now Avion Gross will run out as a receiver on that left side. They'll put 3 receivers to the left. And Bradley comes wide to the right. There's movement on the line. And it's going to be a penalty against Madison. Let's take a look at the Madison defensive starters while we have a chance here. And this is a young group. 5 sophomores in this group for head coach Dave Stupka. Gavin Bekaleski is a late addition as they've had some injuries and some illnesses as well. Owen McGregor, Preston Martin lead the defensive charge up front. Hutchinson is a pretty good linebacker. So it's now 1st and 10 for the Tigers in Madison territory at the 35. Ricky Mills in as the running back. They line up in a pistol formation. But the Tigers look to throw. And over the middle, it's going to be caught and into the end zone for a touchdown. Virtually untouched, Amar Davis, and the Tigers are on the board early.
One of the things Madison really wanted to do was keep everything in front of them. Don't let anybody get behind them. And so they're playing a deep zone, and it opened up the curl zone under the middle, and they ran a shallow post touchdown.
Amar Davis with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. And Brock Hill with his 12th touchdown pass. And there's a penalty flag on the extra point. It's going to go against Madison, so right away things not looking good early, and it looks like they're going to go for 2 with the penalty.
When you have an offense like the Tigers have, and you now have one shot from the 1.5-yard line, give it to one of these speed backs, and off you go.
Tigers trying to avenge a loss at the end of the regular season last year, 13-7 out at Ram Field. Ricky Mills is going to be stopped short, and I don't think he got in. He did not. As the Madison Rams defense holds, and the Tigers with a 6-0 lead, 8:35 to go in the opening quarter. Let's take another look at the touchdown. You see Brock Hill is going to have all kinds of time as he drops back. And a perfect strike to Davis, who caught it in stride. And the Rams now trailing early, and this is not what Dave Stupka had in mind. Talked to him yesterday, and for a guy that has gone through the struggles that he has out at Esley Lane, very upbeat, very positive, very focused.
When you have a young team, you got to be positive. You got to be the leader out there. You got to set the example. You just got to try to improve every game. You take a few things, say, okay, let's work on our passing game this week. Let's get better at that. Right now, he's got a young squad out there on that field. They're learning from their mistakes. It makes them a better ball team next year.
Isaac Brooks back deep for the Rams, and there is youth all over this team. He's got some numbers coming at the junior high level. But as he explained to me yesterday, it is a process, and we've talked to a lot of coaches that have gone through struggles, and it is indeed a process, and you have to sell that to your program. So putt to kick off, and they're going to go with almost an onside kick, but it's recovered by the Rams at the 43-yard line. So
one of the times that happens when you go through a bad stretch is that you have classes, and a coach can handle one class having low numbers in it, not many athletes. But when you get 2 or 3 classes in a row, it's hard to overcome that, and you've got to build on something. And right now, Madison is building on youth. They're trying to get these kids experience, get them in the playing field that'll make them a better ball club next year.
The freshman Kuhn up under center. And there's movement on the line. The Tigers are pointing to the Rams. The Rams are pointing to the Tigers. And I think this is going to be against Madison.
And every time Madison walks in the wrong direction, they have a very tough time overcoming penalties. Instead of being 1st and 10, now it's 1st and 15. They're forced to throw the football. And when you have a freshman at quarterback, the last thing you want to do is put pressure on him to throw the football against the Tiger defense.
So it's now 1st and 15. They will stay on the ground and nowhere to go for Hunter Hutchinson. And the task doesn't get any easier for Madison because you're playing a team in Mansfield Senior that has 7 wins. And last week against Mount Vernon, they gave up only 35 yards of total offense. This defense is going to be what I think carries them into the postseason.
And, Brian, we saw them in their first game against Norwalk, and we knew then they had a good defense. Their offense was struggling. Now they're starting to put both sides of the game together. They're going to be a force to reckon with in the playoffs.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 15. They give it to Brooks, and he is swarmed under at the 30. As we talk about the defensive playmakers, Malachi Mays, the senior, takes Brooks down at the 30.
When you have a young offensive line and you're playing against a top defense, it's tough to seal all the gaps. And all you can hope to do is move the ball in a positive direction. You want to, as a coach on the sidelines, you got to call plays that'll give your team positive movement. Move the ball in the right direction.
They're starting a freshman at quarterback. They have 3 sophomores on offense, 5 on defense. Little bit of room to the near side, and that's Philip Stupka. But he only gets across the 35 to about the 37, so it's going to be 4th as he is well short as Mekhi Bradley came up to make the play.
And you got Tigers flying all over the place. They are a very well-coached Tiger defense when they pursue to the football. They get everybody going to the ball.
You had an interesting observation. You went down and talked with Choki Bradley briefly before the ball game, and you said he was really quiet and very focused. I think he realizes he doesn't want a repeat of last year, and he wants to make sure that he, his staff, and his team are ready against this young Madison team.
If you remember, Brian, when we sat down and talked to Chokley before the first game, all he talked about was football, football, football. He was drawing X's and O's all over the place. Today when I went in there, it was a totally different attitude. I asked him for a lineup. He made a few changes, looked at me and walked away. And he is focused, and that's why the Tigers are focused. He is setting the tone for this football team.
Trips to the right. Brock Hill back as the quarterback. Mills as the tailback. They're going to give it to Mills, and Mills off the left side gets about 3 to the 45-yard line.
When you start to build a program, you got to find where your strength is. Is it in junior high? Is it in JV ball? And that's what you have to really depend upon. You got to depend upon those young men maturing.
Mills, their leading running back, at 300 yards on the season. Brock Hill swings the ball out to Mills, who catches it. Ball pops out. It's recovered by the Rams at the 46-yard line. Coming up with the defensive play for Madison, Preston Martin, the sophomore. And Madison has the ball in Tiger territory.
Murphy's Law, here it comes. If it can happen, it will happen. And I'll tell you what, he got popped pretty good out there by the Madison defense, and they are on the spot to recover the fumble.
Well, let's see if these young Rams can take advantage of the turnover. They trail 6-0, 5:45 to go in the opening quarter.
And this is where they turn everything loose. Let it rip. You got nothing to worry about. Just go for it.
Double tight end set. They look to throw on first down, trying to air it out to Brooks. Ball tipped in the air, and it falls incomplete.
And they're letting her rip.
Keontez Bradley back on coverage. Brooks is the playmaker on offense.
It was a nice, for a freshman, it was a nice thrown ball. But Senior High has a little bit of speed in that secondary. They can cover up their mistakes by sprinting to the ball.
Stupka really likes this freshman. He thinks he has a lot of potential and can develop into a very good player. He kind of got the job by default due to an injury. Hutchinson with the carry inside the 45 down to about the 42-yard line.
Nice blocking up front. A little trap play, opened up a seam, and you get 5 yards.
In fact, Hutchinson was the guy who was the quarterback to start the season. Had a little bit of an injury, and that opened the door for Kuhn, and he hasn't relinquished the spot since. This is his 4th start as a freshman. 3rd down and 7. Brooks goes back in motion. They'll hand it off to him on the jet sweep. He's inside the 40 to the 39, still short of the first down as Mekhi Bradley knocked into the turf, and it's going to be 4th and 3. And I would not be surprised at all to see Madison go for it here. A nice play, nice hole there.
And this
for
is your
Brooks.
And this is your pregame. Let her rip. Madison has nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose in this ball game. And go for it. So you got 4th and 3, go for it.
4 minutes, 23 seconds to go. The Tigers with a 6-0 lead, thanks to a 35-yard touchdown pass to Amar Davis. They stay on the ground. That's Hutchinson with the second effort, and he might have enough for the first down.
Yeah,
Gross
first down.
in on the play. And that was all effort by Hutchinson, and it moves the chains. What a play.
Yards after the contact.
Watch this second effort. That was the play that went to Isaac Brooks. There's the extra effort by Hutchinson.
Those are your leaders of next year's football team.
He's a junior, so he will be back. Kuhn back to throw on first down. Looks left side, has a receiver. It's incomplete. He overthrew it a little bit. Avion Gross had a bead on it.
I like what Madison's doing. They're not afraid to put the ball up, throw the ball wide.
That was Amar Davis, on the coverage.
Just open up the field. Let Senior High know, hey, we're not afraid to throw it against this secondary. We're going to see what we can do. See if we can't open up some lanes. They're in 4-down territory here, Brian. See if they can't get 10 yards with 3 plays to go.
Little miscommunication. And Kuhn with nowhere to go, and he was immediately wrapped up by Ricky Mills.
Yeah, there's a busted play there. Somebody went the wrong way. Those are things that coaches just scratch their heads on. Doggone it. We work all week on that in practice. We get into the game, and son of a gun, we mishandle it.
So now it's 3rd down and 13 at the 37-yard line.
Pick up some positive yards. That's all we're looking for.
Hutchinson, the lone running back. Have a couple wings in the formation, and the Tigers are ready. Malachi Mays comes up with a huge stop on 3rd down. And Stupka, as soon as he took the handoff, ran right into the arms of Mays. I tell you what, this Tiger defense is just firing on all cylinders.
And they got speed. He's not exactly a big ball player out there, but he is playing in the Madison backfield tonight.
So it's 4th and 17 at the Tiger 42-yard line. The offense will stay on the field, and I think they're going to take a timeout and think about it.
And in our pregame, we talked about Madison, what they had to do. You said they got to control the game, control the ball, move it down the field, and let her rip. And right now you're in a 4th and long situation. You just throw it for the end zone. Hail Mary.
Last week, Madison was shut out at home 43-0 by Lexington, and that was a game that Dave Stupka said that he just felt that he questioned effort. I mean, it was probably the only time all season that he felt they just weren't ready to play. And it looks like tonight they have at least come in here ready to play. I get it, it's their crosstown rival and all of that, so that probably giving them a little bit of extra incentive. And he said something interesting before the game tonight. He said he's told his players, don't take advantage of this chance that you have to play football, because one thing we've learned in the last couple of years with COVID, you don't know when you're not going to be able to play the next week, when you're going to be, sidelined because of a quarantine or whatever. So take advantage of the opportunities that you have.
And if you look at the scoreboard, it's 6-0. There's a lot of people who really believe this would have been a blowout in the first quarter. And only being behind 6-0 with 2 minutes to go, and Madison has the ball in Tiger territory, it's a ball game.
Well, and as you mentioned, Shoki Bradley understands and has that focus and that mindset. And there you talk about pressure of this defense. And Marquise Trochet was all over the freshman quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback had no shot. When the defense is on you while you're stepping backwards, there's a hole up front in that offensive line. And, when I was the coach, I used to always tell myself, who's my offensive line coming back? And if I could name who my 5 offensive line was, I knew I was going to have a good team. But when you got holes to fill and put different people in there, you're going to have a tough year.
Tigers will stack 2 receivers to each side of the formation. And they'll take the snap, but there's going to be a procedure call against the Tigers. So offensively, they had the touchdown drive, but they've had a few plays here where they've looked a little out of sorts. They had the turnover on the previous possession, and then they start this drive off with a penalty.
You got to stay focused. You got to be focused, 20/20 vision. Every team has game goals. Work to achieve the game goals.
Tigers with a 1st and 15. Hill with plenty of time. Looks over the middle. It's Davis again. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. Marc Davis with another catch, and that was similar to the pattern that he ran when he caught the touchdown.
The last time he caught the touchdown, he ran from a trips formation. He was the inside receiver. He just ran to the goalpost. This time they went deuces, 2 receivers on each side, ran the same post route, same basic results.
1st and 10 at the Madison 21. And the Tigers trying to add to a 6-0 lead as we're approaching the end of the first quarter. Hill with some pressure, steps up, and he can run. Inside the 10, down to the 5, dives for a touchdown for the Tigers. And Brock Hill from 21 yards out put 6 more points on the board.
One of the toughest things to do in high school football is defend a running quarterback. And Madison, they knew they got to put pressure on that Brock Hill. They blitzed linebackers. It was a missed tackle in the backfield. Brock is too good of an athlete to let loose in the open field, and he made Madison pay.
Now they will go for 2 since they missed the first one with a 12-0 lead. Now he's not only a rushing quarterback, he might be the rushing quarterback in the area. 538 yards, and that's his 10th touchdown. There you see him on the 2-point conversion displaying his arm, and they now lead 14-0.
Senior High does a nice job looking for the mismatch. When you have a better receiver than a defensive back, a little bit taller, a little bit faster, you just throw the ball up in the air and hope he comes down with it.
Now this offense really runs through Brock Hill. He can do everything. There you saw the pass He has done everything through the air. He is the team's leading rusher with over 500 yards, 1,500 yards through the air, now 12 touchdowns on the season, and he is probably the offensive MVP for this club.
Yeah, and, you know, your quarterback is your game leader. It doesn't matter what team you're on. If you have a quarterback and he's a leader, you're going to do great things. Madison has a freshman out there. He's got to prove himself a little bit before, you know, he starts, you know, becoming a Brock Hill. But Brock was a freshman once. You just keep working at it, keep getting better. But Brock Hill's done a great job for the Mansfield Tigers.
Over 2,000 yards of total offense. And he has got the Tigers now up by 2 scores, 1:38 to go.
And the thing I like, Brian, he does it, it makes it look so easy. He makes it look so easy throwing the ball and running.
Putts kickoff again. They stay with the line drive, keeping it away from Isaac Brooks. And this is a return up to about the 27-yard line. Tatum Turcotte with the return. So the Madison Rams get the ball back, now down 14-0 with a minute and a half to go in the opening quarter.
And it's just going to get tougher and tougher as the Tiger defense starts developing a little bit more beef on themselves right now. They're going to start blowing more gaps. They're going to start making more things happen. This offensive line's got to try to stick together, try to move the ball, and you just want to work one first down at a time.
There they go with that double wing formation. Brooks in motion. They give it to Hutchinson up the middle. It gets maybe a yard or two before he runs into the tackle of Leo Hess. Hutchinson, as we said, started the season as the quarterback, and then an injury kind of forced him out of that role, and now he's in the backfield.
And the Tiger defense, they're just playing basic defense, sitting in their gaps, 3-man rush.
They pitch it to Brooks, and he had nowhere to go as he tried to turn the corner. And you talk about the team speed of the Tigers. Miles Bradley there leading the charge for Mansfield Senior, and Brooks had nowhere to go as he tried to get around the edge.
Who's ever responsible for the edge, all he's got to do is force the runner deep. You don't have to contain him. You just want to force him deep. Senior high is fast enough that they can get more people there. And as we saw right there, they must have had 7 players on the ball. They flow very well to the football.
This will be the final play of the first quarter. 3rd down and 12. And there's a whistle, and this is going to be, I think, another penalty against Madison. So
that young offensive line, they're jumping a little bit. They're a little bit nervous out there.
Well, in all fairness, if I'm playing against that defense, I'm going to be a little jumpy too.
And that's what happens. There are young kids out there. They're playing together. They're trying to do their best job. The nerves get to you. When you play against somebody who's a little bit faster, a little bit stronger than you, you're going to make jumps.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. Madison trailing the Tigers of Mansfield Senior 14-0 in the Battle of Mansfield. We'll be back with the second quarter after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusive.
Lender, craftsman, dog dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to this song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little...
Madison with a 3rd down and 18 as we start the second quarter. And guess what? Another penalty flag against the Madison Rams.
Right now, Madison's moving in the wrong direction, and they put themselves in a situation where they do not have the offense to overcome these mistakes. They have to have a mistake-free drive.
So it's now 3rd down. They need to get all the way to the 36-yard line. The ball is back at the 13. Well, just shy of the 14. They're going to give it to Brooks, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Again, Malachi Mays greets him in the backfield.
That young man's having a game all by himself. He gets to the ball carrier just about the time the quarterback gives him the ball.
So 4th down, and the Tigers are going to get the ball back in very good field position. Miles Bradley and Amar Davis back to receive the kick, and it's going to be angled to the near side. A terrible punt that goes out of bounds by the Tiger bench. And Mansfield Senior is going to get it with a very short field.
Inside the 20-yard line.
Off the side of the foot of Hunter Hutchinson.
If it can go bad, it's going bad for you.
So they will spot the ball at, looks like inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. Avion Gross, now they go back to him at the quarterback position. He's going to take the snap. He's tripped up in the backfield. And it was Hutchison, again, who makes the play.
Nice defensive play by Hutchison, slicing through the offensive line, making a shoestring tackle.
Actually give him a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Brock Hill now back at quarterback. Tigers looking to add to a 14-0 lead. And looking for their 8th win of the season. Brock Hill with some time. Now he's going to be flushed out. Dumps it out. It's caught by Ricky Mills into the end zone for a touchdown. The 2nd touchdown pass on the night for Brock Hill. And Ricky Mills into the end zone for the first time.
And I'll tell you what, that was all set up by Brock Hill scrambling.
Yeah, he
was able to get away from one tackle after another. And when it looks like he's going to run it, the defensive back comes up to make the tackle, and he dumps it over his head.
Smart play by Brock Hill. And Ricky Mills does the rest as he dives into the end zone. Punt now on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So the Tigers now with a 21-0 lead just underway here in the second quarter. Take another look at the touchdown, and you're right, the improvisational skills of Brock Hill on display here in this play.
And I like that he's always looking downfield, And as soon as the defensive back came off of the receiver to tackle the quarterback, he dumps it over his head, touchdown.
We have some winners from the FECIC cookout that was held in the practice field before the game today.
There you see Avion Gross, who is headed to Charlotte to play college football. And you look at his numbers, and they're not impressive, and that's because teams throw everything they can at him. And Choki Bradley does a nice job of using him as a decoy. That's really opened things up. for Miles Bradley and the other receivers, and they kick away from him on kickoffs and punts. And
you're going to hear a lot of college coaches talk about recruiting, and a lot of coaches, they do not recruit specific position players. They recruit athletes so that when they get them on campus, hey, you're good enough, we're going to move you to here. So it's the athlete that they're looking for, and senior high has the athletes.
Turcotte again on the return as, again, the Tigers also know the book on Isaac Brooks, and they want to keep the ball away from him. You see that a lot more now in high school football. You don't see when you have a team that has a good returner, they kick it away from him. They don't even kick the ball.
Yeah, back in the days when you had the straight-on kickers and they had the square toe, you only had one option, kick it deep. And now with these kickers, they can pinpoint the ball anywhere, kick it away from people.
Madison now down 3 scores. They give it to Hutchinson off left tackle, gets a couple. Fans a little excited about the emotion you see out there on the field. I don't think these teams like each other. I'm going to go out on a limb.
And, when they play each other, these kids know each other. They know the Madison kids know the senior high kids. In the summertime, they play basketball at the parks together. They hang out sometimes together. So not only is it a rivalry, but you know who the other person is.
2nd down and 8. Hutchison again up the middle, and he's got yardage across the 40 to the 42, so they're inching their way up the field.
And this is what Madison wants to do. They want to just keep getting positive yardage. No more negative stuff. Even if it's only 1 or 2 yards, you want to keep positive movement down the field.
Malachi Mays adds to his total for tackles on the night. Another outstanding defensive play for number 3. A 3rd and very manageable 2 for Madison. Hutchison again, if it's working, why not? And he's going to be close to a 1st down as he gets to the 45.
And this is what I think Madison has to do. They have to just keep pounding it. It's hard to throw the football against this Tiger defense when you have a freshman at quarterback.
Well, and you also talked about the young offensive line. He's not getting a lot of time, but he's back there running for his life.
Yeah, when you have a young team and you've got a defensive front that's quicker, stronger, maybe a little bit bigger, they're going to create havoc. And then you throw a blitzing linebacker in there.
Brooks goes wide to the left. There's movement on the line. And again, I think it's going to be another procedure call, and there have been several of those tonight here against this Madison offensive line.
And to me, that's kind of unusual. This is game 10, and if you have an offensive line that's been working together, these things kind of work themselves out during the season. But Madison's had a lot of injuries. They've got new players going in. You're moving kids around, and they're young. They're going to make those stupid mistakes.
8:20 to go in the first half. The Tigers with a 21-0 lead. Hutchison. There, the right side of that line, really nowhere to go. Leo Hess, the linebacker, came up and helped plug the hole along with Ricky Mills.
And again, that pursuit by that Tiger defense. Those linebackers are filling every gap, every hole. No cutbacks, straight ahead football for Madison only.
Second down at 14. Hutchison again. And he stood up just shy of the 45-yard line and driven back.
Again, you have 5 Tigers on the tackle, gang tackling. Meeting at the football.
Madison 0-7, as we said. They had 2 games canceled due to COVID. Matchups with Ontario and Worcester in weeks 3 and 4 were the games the Rams didn't play. Third down and 10 at the Madison 45-yard line. Hutchison again, he gets a yard to the 46, and that's going to be it as the Tiger defense was there and ready. So it's going to be 4th down, and I would assume a punting situation from this part of the field. Hutchison will go back. His last punt went off the side of his foot and gave the Tigers a very short field. Miles Bradley backpedals to receive for Mansfield Senior. This was a better kick. Bradley from the 20. And Bradley still on his feet to the 35 and to the 36, a 16-yard return for Bradley, and the Tigers will get it with 6:12 to go before the end of the half.
It's kind of exciting because every time one of these Tigers get the ball, all you think about is open field, touchdown. Madison did a nice job forcing him to the sidelines, pinning him in, trying to get more Rams there than Tigers, and finally slowed him down. Look for Senior High to go deep. I look for him to start to throw the ball, get it in the end zone now.
Brock Hill as the quarterback. And Jamar Petty, the sophomore, is standing behind Hill. Hill steps up, feels the pressure, dumps it off to Petty. Petty with room across midfield, down to the 30, and he's going to be tripped up inside the 25-yard line. Jamar Petty, the sophomore, comes in and makes a play for the Tigers.
And again, Brock Hill sets all that up with his scrambling ability. He steps up. His number 1 receiver was covered. His number 2 receiver is covered. He dumps it off to his relief valve. Big gain.
Isaac Brooks saves the touchdown for Madison. Jameer Petty just comes in, and an instant spark sets up a 1st and 10 at the Madison 23-yard line. There's a good look at Jameer Petty. 5'9" sophomore. And he's going to get another rep. Why not? Brock Hill again feels the pressure. This time he goes down at the 23-yard line.
Madison's trying to put a little bit more pressure on the quarterback, blitzing linebackers. They're actually sending more tacklers than Senior High can block.
Hunter Hutchison comes up with the sack, and he got some help on the play by Jacob Johnson, the senior. They're actually going to give him – he was actually going toward the line of scrimmage, so he got back. It'll be 2nd down and 10. He didn't lose yardage on the play. Swings it out.
Screen.
Davis breaks a tackle, gets down to about the 12-yard line. Isaac Brooks there along with Joseph Stupka, the sophomore. So the Tigers knocking on the door again with 5 minutes to go before halftime. Davis has had a busy first half.
And you're getting a real good look at what this quarterback for Senior High can do. He can move the team through the air. He can run it.
This is not the same guy we saw in week 1. Playing with a lot more confidence. There a design run for Hill, and he had nowhere to go. Ran again, Hunter Hutchison, who has been busy for the Madison Rams on both sides of the ball, and Hill might be hurt. That's not a good sign. Holding his left shoulder. That is not a good sign for the Tigers. And that's what you don't want in a game like this.
Yeah, this is that Murphy's Law. You know, you got to take care of yourself. You got to be ready for everything. When your team leader and your quarterback comes up holding his arm, you got to say, oh, boy, here we go.
Now we can see what happened. May have been the second part of that tackle. So he's on the sideline, and they're looking at him. The sophomore Duke Reese will take over the offense. Reese has had a lot of good reps. Petty takes the ball down inside the 10. Duke Reese, 2 of 4 on the season. Saw a lot of action a year ago. In fact, he played in the Madison game. Brock Hill now back out onto the field, so that's a good sign for the Tigers.
Everybody takes a deep sigh of relief.
So maybe just a stinger or something like that, but he is back out there on the field. Feels the pressure, swings it out, and it's incomplete. I think they're going to call that an incomplete pass because Gross did not.
Looks like they're going to call an interception.
Whoa, wait a minute.
No,
yeah.
they call it a reception with a fumble.
Well, you see the replay here. I didn't. What a break for the Rams. He gets the ball out just in time. I don't think it's a reception. I don't think he ever had possession of the ball. So Madison gets a break. And a good look on our replay.
Instant replay. Call it to the booth. Let's see what happens. See if it's overturned.
Caden Clapper says, you know what? My team got the ball back. We'll take it.
Yeah. Anytime you can shut the Tiger offense down, you've done a great job no matter how it happens. And getting that turnover shoots new life back into you. You got 3 minutes. Don't turn the ball over to the Tigers.
Well, that's the good news. The bad news is they are backed up. And again, they go to Hutchison for a couple up the middle. So now the offense just doesn't want to make a mistake against this defense that is just hungry to make plays.
Yeah, you just want to go in down 21-0, end on a positive note. Do not turn the ball back over to Tigers because no matter what's on the clock, they can score.
Both teams with 3 timeouts.
Look for Chokey to start calling the timeout if they can stop him here.
Hutchison again off the left side and pushes forward to about the 15, and there you called it. Chokey Bradley calling a timeout.
Yeah,
they're going to anticipate getting the ball back. 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, if he can get the ball back, he's got the type of offense. They can score from anywhere on the field, but with a short field, he has a lot more options out there. Run the ball, throw the ball deep, throw the ball short. When you have a quarterback like Brock Hill in there, he can do anything.
While the Madison Rams have struggled over the last 4 years, the Tigers have been one of the premier teams. I mean, they struggled a little bit last year, but this year they have bounced back really strong. They were 3-6 last year. They did win a playoff game, but they got beat by Madison. Their wins were over Lexington and Mount Vernon.
And when you have the year before that, they made the playoffs. They made a deep runner in the playoffs. They look great. You graduate a lot of seniors. You lose that leadership. It's going to take you a year to build that back up. And that's what the Tigers have done. They sacrificed a year, didn't win a lot of games, got a lot of people playing, and now they're starting to pay dividends.
Well, that 2019 season was a very special season for the Tigers, and Chokey Bradley trying to get them back to that. I don't know if they're quite there offensively, but this defense, I'll tell you what, they're going to be a handful in the postseason for whoever they draw in the first round. Kuhn back to throw, and he airmails it over Isaac Brooks, and it's going to be another punting situation. And the last time Madison punted from this area of the field, Hutchison made one of the few mistakes that he has made tonight, and he sailed it into the senior high bench.
Yeah, went off the side of his foot. He takes an awkward step. Whenever he punts, he always takes a step to the right when he kicks it. He's going to get a lot of pressure from the backside because they don't block the backside. Here comes the pressure.
Just gets the kick off. And Bradley, I don't know if it touched it. And if he did, it's Madison ball, and he did. So Madison gets a break. They get the ball back at the 48-yard line as Miles Bradley can't handle the punt.
Murphy's Law, we talked about that. If it's going to go bad, it can go bad for you. Never, ever underestimate any play.
Now the key, can Madison take advantage of the opportunity given to them by the Tigers?
They've got 2 minutes on the clock. Try to do everything positive, no mistakes. Go in at halftime with a little momentum.
Hutchison as the lone running back, and Kuhn looking to throw. Swings it out, and it's incomplete, and Brooks had it in his hands.
Yeah, he's starting to run upfield before he had the ball put away and lets it fly over his head.
So it's 2nd and 10, and Isaac Brooks would love to have this one back because he could have had yardage after the catch.
And that's what you got to do. You got to have positive plays one after another. You got to string them together. That's a negative play. Now you got to dig back down, find a positive play.
Kuhn again swings it out. This one's picked off. Deontay O'Brien with the interception, and the Tigers get it back inside the 15-yard line, and guess what? The defense comes up with a turnover.
And Madison, they're not trying to go deep. They're trying to give that quarterback, that freshman quarterback, a little confidence, throw a little out route. Senior High has so much speed on the outside, they just stepped in front of it and took it.
O'Brien now with a team-leading 5 interceptions on the season. He came into tonight tied with Miles Bradley, each with 4. And now the Tigers with a chance to put an exclamation point on this half. And remember, the Tigers will start with the football in the 3rd quarter. Hill looks into the end zone. It's incomplete, and there's going to be pass interference.
Yeah,
as Philip Stupka was all over Miles Bradley.
Yeah, when you start to get beat, you just reach out and grab him by the jersey and hang on to him. This is not the NFL where if that's interference in the end zone, the ball goes to the 1-yard line. It's going to be half the distance to the goal line. In high school ball, it's only a 10-yard penalty for interference. So if you're getting beat, tackle the guy. I'd rather have an interference call than a touchdown.
So it's now 1st and goal at the just over the 5-yard line. Ricky Mills now in as a blocking back, and there's a whistle and
timeout.
Timeout's going to be taken by Madison. The Tigers trying to add to a 21-0 lead with 1:44 to go here before halftime. Brian Harder, Bruce Wyrick from Arlin Field. The Battle of Mansfield, it's all brown and orange at the moment, 21-0, and we haven't really talked about this yet, but the Tigers ranked 3rd in the latest computer rankings, and they've clinched a home playoff game. Tigers are 4-0 in home playoff matchups and 7-10 overall, so they really like the opportunity to play here at Arlin Field in Week 11.
Well, it's a very friendly football stadium. Arlin Field is one of the few football fields that you'll go to where you are right on the field. A lot of football venues that you go to, they have a track, an 8-lane track around the football field. Ontario has that. Lexington has that. You know, a lot of stadiums have that setup. Clear Fork has it. But here at Arlin Field, the fans are right up on top of the teams, and it is a home field advantage.
Tigers would love to go into the postseason with a win against their crosstown rival. Hill will get ready to take the snap. Looks again into the end zone. Fires for Bradley, and it's incomplete. He was out of bounds. So that will set up a 2nd and goal.
One of the big things we had the first game here when they played Norwalk. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest improvements I've seen in the Mansfield Senior offense is their offensive line. Those 5 interior linemen, the center, 2 guards, and 2 tackles, are doing a great job of opening seams and protecting that quarterback.
Tigers have won 4 in a row and would love to end the regular season with 5. There's Petty again into the end zone for his second touchdown of the second quarter. And Jameer Petty has hit pay dirt once again.
And we just talked about it. Brock Hill had all the time in the world. That front offensive line is doing an outstanding job protecting the quarterback and opening up seams. So when you take a look at week 1 against Norwalk to now, I really seen a lot of improvement on that offensive line for the Tigers.
3 touchdown passes by Brock Hill in the first half, and he ran for the other touchdown. Putt's extra point is up and good, and the Tigers on cruise control, 28-0. And then as we go into the second half, well, let's take a look at the touchdown first. And Brock Hill again, the poise and the presence to kick it out to Petty, and then he does the rest. And we talk about young players. Petty, only a sophomore.
Yeah, Choky Bradley knows what he's doing. He sprinkles in these young players with the veteran players, and it really helps them being on the field, in the field of play with these juniors and seniors. It just makes you a better ball player, and you mature so much quicker.
Now, would it surprise you if I told you that Petty did not record 1 reception before tonight's game?
Unbelievable. Young man is having a great breakout game.
Had 25 carries on the ground for 69 yards, but he has proved to be a valuable weapon out of the backfield for Brock Hill. And that could be a little surprise weapon that they carry into the postseason.
And when you get to the postseason, everything's got to be used. You got to have all your weapons ready to go, and they got to work.
Let's kick off another squib kick. Brooks is going to scoop it up at the 25, and he is dumped at the 32-yard line.
Nice tackle.
So nice Madison tackle. Will get it back with 1:27 to go.
All Madison wants to do is run the clock out. Just get the clock down. We're not going to do anything stupid. No fumbles, no turnovers. The Tigers still have a timeout. They can still stop the clock. Choky's probably going to wait and see what happens on first and second down before he uses it.
Well, I'll be shocked if Hunter Hutchison doesn't get the ball here. And they go right to him. Left side, nowhere to go as he is bounced on the left side of that line as he ran into the direction of Leo Hess.
And there's your timeout by Choky Bradley. He still wants another score. He's going to take a timeout here. He's going to put the pressure on to Madison. He's going to force his defense to make the stop, get the ball back for his offense, and go for the end zone.
There's a good look at Leo Hess, who had that big tackle there on first down. A loss of 1 on the play. It'll be second down and 11 at the Madison 33-yard line. And you're right, if you're Madison, you just want to get to the locker room and be able to stop the bleeding here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you just want to get a Band-Aid on it. You want to get the clock wound down to 0. You want to go in the locker room down 28-0. You don't want to have that running clock start in the second half. And what we mean by the running clock is that when you are behind by 30 points or more, the clock never stops. Once the officials wind it, except for a timeout or an injury, the clock will continuously run. As of right now, if there's an incomplete pass, the clock stops. With the running clock, incomplete pass, the clock will keep running.
Madison back at the line, second down and 11. Hutchison again greeted by Leo Hess and driven back.
This will be the Tigers' final timeout. He wants as much time on the clock for his offense.
As we said, Madison defeated the Tigers 13-7 last year. The Tigers are 7-4 under Chokey Bradley against Madison. And tonight's game is the 56th meeting between the two schools, with Mansfield Senior holding a 30 wins, 22 losses, and 3 ties. First game played back in 1933. And last year's Madison win snapped a 5-game Tiger winning streak over their crosstown rivals.
It was one of the big games. Back when I played, we played Madison. Malabar, we didn't have them on our schedule yet. They didn't come in until a little bit later. But the Madison Senior High rivalry was a big game. And I can still remember looking at the scouting report and looking at the players on Madison and saying, wow, they got some good players over there.
Well, I can remember back in the 90s when Madison had Dana Woodring and they were making their playoff runs, and the Madison-Mansfield Senior game was huge back then. They try to go to Brooks. It's picked off again at the 45-yard line. The second interception, this one by Keontez Bradley. That's his third pick of the season, and the Tigers get it back with 1:09 to go before half. That one, he just really kind of threw it up there and tried to get Brooks to go get it. And instead, Bradley comes down with it.
Madison's running just one-man routes. They're putting one man into a route, and it takes the pressure off your quarterback. You got a freshman quarterback. All he's going to do is throw the ball to the one receiver. The problem is Brock Hill has 1:09 on the clock, and he's got skilled players everywhere.
He's got 3 receivers to the top of your screen, and there little miscommunication there with Lamar Davis, the sophomore.
And the one big thing I want you to watch out there on these replays and stuff, look at the offensive line. Look at the time Brock Hill has. He sits in the pocket waiting. That offensive line is giving him time to look at his first receiver. He's covered. Look at the second reliever. You hear the pros talking about checking down, and that's what he does. He checks from one receiver to another till he finds one open, then he dumps them.
Second down and 10, 1:05 to go before halftime. Hill feels the pressure, fires it out. It's incomplete, and that time Madison was able to get a little bit of pressure on Hill, and it forces a 3rd down and 10.
Again, Brock looked downfield. He was looking to go deep. He was covered. He looks at number 2 receiver. He's covered. Looks for his outlet and throws it out of bounds. Offensive line right now doing a great job. Madison's only rushing 3. You got 5 people blocking them.
Trips to the right. Hill feels the pressure. And he's just going to take off and get just inside the 45 to the 44.
Madison's doing a good job covering deep. They're not letting anybody get in behind him.
Got just enough for the first down, so the chains move. And still plenty of time for the Tigers. 51 seconds to go before halftime. We'll have our State Farm halftime show coming up. We'll have the Tigers and the Madison Ram marching bands. We'll take a look at the first half numbers. That was incomplete. They were looking for Avion Gross.
Trying to do a wide receiver screen. Brock Hill a little off on that throw. Tigers still have a timeout with 46 seconds on the clock. 2nd down and 10.
Ball at the Madison 44.
Look for a throw to number 13, Gross, up the sidelines. 1-on-1.
Well, he's got one-on-one coverage with Stupka.
There
it is. And he's out of bounds at the 35.
And that was good observation, Brian. Senior High put trips receivers to the field. All the defensive backs go there. You got Avion Gross on an island with a little defensive back all by himself over here. Same thing again.
It's going to be, they got to move the chains. It was a first down. There's Avion Gross, who's headed to the University of Charlotte. Continue his football career at the collegiate level. Brock Hill, little pump fake. And Madison with a pretty good job of coverage, and it's incomplete. He overthrows that's Elias Owens. And that'll stop the clock with 32 seconds to go. There, he just really had nowhere to go, and he was close to an illegal forward pass.
And it was good coverage by Madison. They tried to do a hook and go with Avion Gross. He sets up, Brock pump fakes to him, but a little bit of pressure forces him off the secondary throw. Throws the incomplete pass.
4 receivers on the right-hand side of the formation. And Hill's going to run. And he's going to get out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Stupka there to force him out.
You have to admit, Madison's playing good coverage right now. They're playing deep. Senior High has nobody in the backfield but the quarterback. Everybody else is out on the wings. Nice job, Madison, containing them.
Tigers with no timeouts. Maybe they can get putt into field goal range. Brock Hill swings it out. Caught by Bradley, but well short of the first down. Actually, no, it was caught by O'Brien as they hustle back to the line of scrimmage. And he'll down the ball, and perhaps they're going to set up a field goal try for Sean Putt. He's 8 of 9 on the season. His longest is 35 yards.
And you're right on that call. Field goal it is. And some people might say, hey, you're rubbing it in, kicking a field goal here. Senior High is prepping for the playoff run. You never know in a playoff when you're going to need a field goal. This is a good time to get your field goal team out there and give it a shot.
Now, see, most coaches that I've talked to will say you play the first half with your foot to the gas pedal. Botch snap, but they do a good job of getting it down. It just bounces off the crossbar. And if we get a look at a replay, we might see that the timing of the snap and the hole, we can't see it on that angle, but it just bounces off the crossbar.
And that's one of the things Chokey now knows. He knows that his field goal kicker has a certain range. If we're inside that, we can go for it. If we're outside that, we'll keep our offense on the field.
So it's halftime here at Arlin Field. The Tigers with a 28-0 lead. We'll be back with the marching bands right after this, along with the State Farm halftime show. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin. Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not
Podcast.
both?
Pigskin.
Podcast.
Dude, clean your ears out, man.
Oh, there's so much space in here.
Lender, Craftsman, Dog Dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Marc, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Now feature our senior Ramettes as they perform a routine to Nicki Minaj's Starship. Next, we feature all of our senior band members for their final performance. They are front and center for their traditional dance break songs. Seniors and the entire Ram Band dance along to Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. direct your attention to the vehicle. It's time to get down to business. Mansfield Senior High Tiger marching band is in the house. Tonight we present our senior show with music selected by our senior class. We'll begin our halftime show with our school song, Across the Field. band members of the senior class of 2022. Hayden Couch, trumpet. Hayden is accompanied by his mother, Michelle Couch, Kensington, and grandparents Jim Myers and Wendy White. Hayden's activities include bowling, cross country, track, and band. His future plans include attending college and studying music education. Tyler Kroll, percussion. Tyler is accompanied by his parents Stacy and Tom Kroll and brother Justin. Tyler's activities include soccer and band. His future plans include attending college and majoring in sports management. Adeline Ferguson, flute and saxophone. Adeline is accompanied by parents Donna Ferguson and Matthew Ferguson. And his yearbook, class president, and band. Her future plans include attending college at Temple University and continuing to play in band at the college level. Alexis Goes, flag corps. Alexis is accompanied by parents Tiffany George Goes and sister Haley Goes. Alexis' activities include color guard, bowling, and softball. Her future plans including going to college to continue her softball career or enlist in the Navy. Kalina Gross, percussion. Kalina is accompanied by brother Erica Wade, sisters Tajane Wade and Torian Gross, and brother Ricky Miner. Kalina's activities include Black Culture Club, basketball, tennis, and band. Her future plans include doing an apprenticeship training program to become an electrician. Braden Hicks, percussion. Braden is accompanied by parents Paul and Danita Hicks and grandmother Sharon Brown. Braden's activities include band. His future plans include living life pursuing happiness over money and becoming a tattoo artist and mechanic. Junmin Oh, flute. Junmin is exchange student from South Korea. He is escorted by host parents Ben and Hannah Kraus. Junmin's activities include introduction to Photoshop. His future plans including returning to South Korea and attending college. Amaya Johnson, trumpet. Amaya is accompanied by guardian Matthew Nicole Cowles, father Aaron Johnson, and brother Bray Lewis. Amaya's activities include marching band and bowling. Her future plans including attending college or a 2-year tech school. Gabby Johnson, tuba. Gabby is accompanied by mother Jamie Bell, father Bill Johnson, siblings Kiara and Gage Johnson. Gabby's activities include band, National Honor Society, and senior officer secretary. Her future plans including attending the University of Cincinnati, pursue criminal law, or attend school for cosmetology. Brianna Lindsay, clarinet. Brianna is accompanied by her mother Veronica Lindsay, Deontay Lindsay, and Maya Lindsay. Brianna's activities include cheerleading and volleyball. Her future plans include either attending The Ohio State University or Youngstown State University to obtain a degree in medical laboratory science and become a medical lab technician. Savannah Snyder, percussion. Savannah is accompanied by mother Amy Snyder, father Marc Snyder, grandmother Anita, and sister Ashley. Savannah's activities include marching band. Her future plans are unknown at this time. Melody Walker, flute. Melody is accompanied by mother April Walker, stepfather Richard Klein, and brothers Richard and Christian Klein. Melody's activities include band, working, and singing. Her future plans include attending college to become a therapist. Grace Whitson, horn. Grace is accompanied by grandmother Dolly Whitson, mother Elizabeth Evans, sister Cindy Whitson, and sister Lauren Whitson, and Scott Winston. Grace's activities include band and singing. Her future plans include attending college and majoring in music education. Brianna Whitty, clarinet. Brianna is accompanied by parents Alex and Samantha Whitty and sister Marissa Whitty. Brianna's activities include band, academic challenge, senior advisory, and National Honor Society. Her future plans include attending college to obtain a degree in engineering. And now a round of applause for our class of 2022 band seniors.
John Marc Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Group, has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
And it is halftime here at Arlin Field. Welcome to the State Farm Halftime Show presented by Super Agent Marc Lamoreaux. It is all Mansfield Senior, 28-0. And coming into this ball game, I have to be honest with you, Bruce, this is something that was really a surprise to me, seeing how young Madison is and how much they have struggled. But when you look at the overall numbers, if Chokey Bradley was worried about the Tigers overlooking Madison, it did not happen.
No, the Tigers are right now a better football team in every aspect of it. I mean, defense, the Tiger defense is just hammering Madison. The offense is basically doing whatever they want at will, and it's kind of showing up. When you hold a team to 7 total yards the first half, you've got a heck of a defense.
215 yards of total offense to 7. Now, if you take a look at what they did last week against Mount Vernon and the first 2 quarters against Madison, 14 carries for 31 yards of rushing against those 2 teams in the last 6 quarters. That is pretty good run defense.
Yeah, your offense are going to give you highlights. They're going to give you headlines. You know, you score this many points. But to make a deep run in the playoffs or to win conference championships, you better have a defense that can make things happen. And Senior High has a defense. They can make a deep run into the playoffs, and they're making things happen with it.
Now, the 2 things that Chokey Bradley is going to be concerned about is the 3 turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over 3 times, especially, and this is no knock on Madison, but against a young team like the Rams, you have to take better care of the football, especially when you're heading into the postseason. And secondly, he has to be very pleased, only 1 penalty for 5 yards.
Yeah, Madison's got the young team. Their offensive line is jumping. They're jittery. They're making mistakes here and there. But those are coachable mistakes. Those are mistakes that they can take care of. Senior High, as time goes on, the games are going to get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher. Unlike the regular season where you might have a tough game with West Holmes and then you get an easy one and an easy one and you end up with a pretty easy game with Madison here. When you get into the playoffs, they just keep getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And that's where your defense has really got to come to the top and your offense has got to gel.
Now, what Dave Stupka wanted to do was possess the football and keep it away from Mansfield Senior, and they actually did that in the first half. The time of possession was 16:01 for Madison and only 7:59 for Mansfield Senior, which tells me that when the Tigers did have the football, they did not waste a whole lot of time with long time-consuming drives. They got focused and marched down the field, and more often than not, they punched it into the end zone.
Yeah, Brock Hill, he's just having a fabulous game tonight. He's hitting his receivers. They're going for the deep ball. And when you get a skilled athlete in the open field with the ball, they're going to get yardage for you. And Madison, the biggest thing, if I was going in and coaching these kids, the biggest things that I think is hurting them are their own penalties. You know, Senior high defense is going to make things happen, but they've got to stop the penalties this half.
Cam Kuhn, 0 of 7 in the first half throwing the football. Brock Hill on the other side, 10 of 16, 155 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's hit 4 different receivers, and all 3 touchdown throws went to different guys. So he's spreading the wealth around, making it very difficult. There they attempt an onside kick, does Madison, and it doesn't go the 10 yards.
And this is Madison. They have nothing to lose. Play for everything. Try the onside kick. It's not going to hurt you. You may get the ball. Senior high comes up with it. And look for senior high. Look for senior high to take this varsity offense, run maybe 1 or 2 more series with them. Then I think Chokey's going to pull them. We had a little bit of a scare earlier when Brock went down. You don't want to have an injured player in a blowout game.
So here's the likely scenario. Mansfield Senior takes care of Madison tonight. Then next week they're going to host a playoff game, and more than likely they're going to play a team that probably has 4 or 5 wins. So, again, it's not going to be anything that's really going to push them. So they want to get through these next couple of weeks focused and making sure they're on top of their game. They come out with a little trickery here of their own, and they throw an interception on the first play. Quentin Little trying to throw the football, and Madison comes up with it.
Yeah, little razzle-dazzle, try and take Madison, catch them off guard. But Madison did a good job playing back. The only thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, Brock Hill can throw the ball deep. Why not, if you're going to go for it, just unwind and let Brock throw it?
Well, you could look at it this way. Madison's onside kick was recovered at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Rams get the ball, and let's see if they can get something going here. 7 yards of total offense in the first half for the Rams. Hutchison running up the middle, and he is going to get stuffed. He had 16 carries for 31 yards in the first half. He was probably the only ray of light offensively for the Rams.
What I'm looking for right now is has this team settled down? The penalties. This is not the type of offense where you can get 10, 11 yards at a clip. They got to go 3 yards here, 4 yards there. No penalties. I want to see a mistake-free drive.
Kuhn, the freshman, still at the controls. Swings it out. It's caught by Brooks, and he is unable to get away from Keontae Bradley.
And again, negative yardage. I want to try to keep everything positive, keep it in front.
So that's the first completion that Kuhn has made tonight. Unfortunately, it was for negative yardage.
And Madison does not have the type of offense where they can overcome a loss of any kind, either from a penalty or a sack or a pass for a loss.
Hutchison gets some of it back up across the 15 to about the 17, but it's going to be another punting situation. So the Rams go quietly on their first possession of the third quarter. And if you're a fan of the Madison Rams and this rivalry game really means something to you, this is hard to watch. And if you're someone, you played at Mansfield Senior. I went to Madison. So we understand the rivalry.
And your teams go through cycles. You have 2 or 3 good classes back to back. You're going to have success on the football field. You have 2 or 3 bad classes, you're going to struggle through a season. Senior high struggled last year. Madison right now is going through a growth spurt. They're having trouble pulling things together. You've got a lot of young kids in your lineup. They're learning. And if these kids can stay together, work together, practice together, get in the weight room this summer, they will make the achievement. They'll make the turn and start getting better.
Brock Hill still in as the quarterback for the Tigers. They have 2 receivers on each side of the formation. And right now this young Madison defense has to keep this high-flying Tiger offense in check. Bradley, who has been quiet tonight, gets a reception and more yardage after the catch down inside the 15 to the 12, and a big chunk play.
And that's the type of play I would have liked to see in the very first one. Instead of trying to do a little razzle-dazzle, let Brock stand back there. The quarterback that he is, he's going to find him, get these receivers the ball in an open space, and they're going to gain yardage.
So the Tigers threatening again with 9:30 to go in the third quarter.
Looked like there's a penalty, roughing the passer. That's going to add a few more yards on.
So it's just shy of the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers. Tatum Turcotte, I believe, was whistled for the penalty. Now a power running formation as Brock Hill comes up under center, but he's going to go back, looks to throw, right side into the end zone. There's a flag down. They were looking for Bradley, and again, it was Stupka with the pass interference penalty. Now Bradley came up with the ball.
They're going to decline it. Senior High's touchdown is good.
So the 4th touchdown pass of the night for Brock Hill. That's a season high. And now we're going to go, we will go to a running clock. And so punt on to attempt the extra point. The Tiger kicker has been busy tonight. Putt's extra point is up, and it is good. So the Tigers now with a 35-0 lead. 9:12 to go in the third quarter. So we will go to the running clock.
And the only thing I'm looking for right now is when Senior High starts to pull his athletes off the field, the one thing you want to do is go into the playoffs healthy. And you do not want to get one of your athletes hurt in a game that's already in the bag.
I didn't know my partner snuck down onto the sideline there, and he's directing the fans.
That's a Tiger mash.
Getting close to the Halloween season here at Arlin Field, and I remember when this rivalry, especially I go back to the 90s when Madison had the high-flying offenses and Dana Woodring was out there. And this game, this stadium, Ram Field would be packed because this game meant something then at the end of the year. And I would love to see it get back to that. And I would like to, whether it's with Dave Stupka or if they bring somebody else in, but try to get this program back to where it was. And those offenses for the Madison Rams back in the 90s, my cousin Josh was a kicker on that team, and he was one of the most widely used kickers in the area for extra points because their offense just kept scoring.
Well, Dana ran a wishbone offense. Not many teams ran that. And when you run something that nobody sees a lot of, you're going to score points. But he had athletes also.
He had athletes. He had the Rob Whitfields. He had the Joe Shaggs. He had the Steve Whitfields. And they had those players. And that's what Stupka is trying to do here. He's trying to rebuild through the junior high program. And he told me, and it does. It takes time, and it takes a lot of patience. And it's just a matter of if the Madison community and the administration is going to – are they going to feel that he's the guy to bring them back?
Yeah, you got to look down the line, look at the younger kids. That's where your future is.
Now, on the other side of that, you've got Chokey Bradley, who is in his 12th season. And, yes, they had a little hiccup last year, winning only 3 ball games. But he has really put this program, I don't know if you could say it even exceeded where the Steve Gilberts and the Stan Jeffersons had it when they were running this program, but he has them in the playoffs seemingly every year.
And Senior, they've had good success with coaches, and what builds that success? Well, winning on the football field. You know, you could be the greatest coach in the world, but if you don't win, it doesn't mean anything. So those coaches, Gilbert and Stan Jefferson, they built it, and they won. They beat teams, and that's what you're remembered by.
Kuhn swings it out, and Brooks, again with nowhere to go, as that defense for Chokey Bradley just swarms to the football.
Yeah, as soon as that ball is out of the quarterback's hands, Senior High has 4 or 5 defenders on it, and they are not letting Madison breathe. Every time Madison gets the ball, there are jerseys, Tiger jerseys all over him.
Bradley, as we said, in his 12th season as the Tigers head coach. They've won 80 games under Chokey Bradley. They've won 4 OCC championships, the last one in 2017. Made 6 playoff appearances, and they're 6-6 under Chokey Bradley. And, of course, who can forget that magical season in 2019 going all the way to the state championship game?
It was quite a run. I was there at the final game watching them, and even though they lost that championship game, you still felt a Tiger pride. You were pride. You could feel it in the city. And Arlin Field goes way back, and the turf, the community is taking care of it. They believe in this football team.
The Rams with a 3rd and 17 from the 24, and another flag and another procedure call, and that has been a problem for Madison all night long.
And that's one thing I hope they can get adjusted. You know, that's a coaching point. Work with your players, work the offsides. Some years, when I was coaching, somebody would jump off every other play, and some years you never jump offside. So you go through cycles with it. But I'll tell you right now, when you got all those sophomores out there, they're jittery, they're learning, they're shaking. You're playing one of the best defenses in the state.
Hutchison falls forward across the 20 to about the 22, so back to just a yard past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, and another punting situation. Hutchison a little slow to get up, and he has done everything tonight on both sides of the ball. He's a junior, so he's a guy that they can build around.
The building blocks are there. You know, you got the building blocks. You got a couple leaders there. You got a freshman quarterback who's just going to keep getting better and better.
So Hutchison gets the kickoff. It's a low kick, but it takes a Madison bounce. And it'll be dead at the 42-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will take over. 1st and 10, 5:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. And it'll be, let's see if, looks like Duke Reese, the sophomore, is going to come out. So Brock Hill's night is done. The last thing you want if you're Chokey Bradley, you want to get out of here healthy and get ready for the postseason.
You want to give some of your younger kids an opportunity to play. And this is what makes these younger kids want to come out next year, by getting playing time on the varsity field. Take a look. You're at Arlin Field. You're on the turf. You're a sophomore, maybe a freshman. You're playing under the lights. This is big-time crosstown rivalry. This is where you make your team.
Deshaun Bird, the freshman, is in as the running back. And Reese, looks like wholesale substitutions even along the offensive line. Bird is going to get the call. He gets back to the line.
And you're right. I think Chokey's put in his 2nd unit. He's giving them the playing experience that they need to become champions next year and the year after.
There's Brock Hill, who has played very well tonight for the Tigers, leading them through the air and on the ground. Has thrown there. He gives a smile to the camera.
And the one thing you got to respect is kind of like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield last night was hurt, didn't play, cheered everybody on. Brock Hill's doing the same thing for this team.
Nothing really going on that play.
But the young kids out there for senior high getting valuable experience. They're playing on a game night on a Friday night against crosstown rivalry Madison, and they got to be enjoying it. They got to have a great time out there.
3rd down and 9. Brock Hill kind of resembles Baker Mayfield, doesn't he? He's put a little beard on him.
Yeah.
So Reese looks to throw on 3rd down, but he's going to struggle, and he's going to get dumped at the 35-yard line as the pocket collapses, and then a flag comes in.
Look like they got a face mask. That's going to give it close to a 1st down.
Preston Martin, the sophomore, in on the sack, but let's see what the flags are going to be about. It is a personal foul against Madison.
And this is what I really hate to see. You know, you got a young team out there, they're working their tails off, and the next thing you know, there's a flag. These are mistakes that can be cleaned up.
Well, and you had them getting ready to punt the football, and now it's going to be Tiger ball at the 48-yard line of Madison.
Yep.
So a fresh set of downs, and Duke Reese and the Tigers stay out on the field. Reese, a good-looking sophomore, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's a lefty. Swings it out. This one's caught by Jermaine Bradley, a sophomore.
And just like Madison, the Tiger young players are getting a little game experience. That's going to make them a better player for next year. Madison, these kids are learning. Every mistake they make out there, they learn from it.
2nd down and 4 from the 42-yard line. Reese pitches out. That's Aaron Thornton. And Thornton breaks a tackle, gets up to the 35 before he's finally forced out of bounds. Thornton, a junior. So he's getting a look. The 6'2 junior. And another 1st down for the Tigers. He ran through the tackle of Caden Clapper.
I kind of enjoy, you're looking out there at these players, you're looking at their numbers, their names. Next year, what is going to be their role? Where are they going to fit in on this Tiger offense and defense that graduates?
Well, that's a good question because Brock Hill's a senior, so you know Duke Reese is going to be the quarterback of this team of the future. Miles Bradley's a senior.
Who down there is going to replace him?
Here's
Who's
Thornton.
got the speed?
Thornton coming to the near side, wrapped up by Clapper. Amar Davis is only a sophomore. Giante O'Brien is only a sophomore. Avion Gross obviously a senior, so he graduates. We saw Jameer Petty. He looked really good. He's only a sophomore. So the cupboard is not bare for Choki Bradley in 2022.
And another key is look at those 5 gentlemen out there on the line of scrimmage, the center, 2 guard, 2 tackles. Watch how they develop. When your offensive line can develop and get better, that's where you know you got a football team because you can put anybody back there and protect that quarterback.
Reese, the lefty, fires, has a 1st down inside the 20-yard line. And that was a reception made by Nathan Dismuke, a freshman.
Nice throw. The offensive line gave him a little bit of time. The pocket breaks down. And for a left-handed quarterback going to his right, tough throw.
Thornton around the left side has some room to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Tigers. A flag is down.
This looks like a hold on the corner.
And this one may be coming back.
Yeah, he got the corner. The Tiger almost tackled that Madison Ram.
So this one's going to come back. That would have been the first touchdown of the season for Thornton.
The young man has some jets.
We've talked about the struggles of the Madison program, and on the other side of that, the winning under Chokey Bradley has then created competition and numbers at the junior high level, so their feeder program is vastly different than what it is out at Madison.
Yeah, Madison, one of the things the coach...
We'll talk about that as we get into the fourth quarter. 3 quarters in the books. It's all Tigers, 35-0. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Hi, I'm Marc Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Tigers with a 35-0 lead as we head to the fourth quarter. There was an untimed down. There was a defensive penalty, and you cannot end a quarter on a defensive penalty, so the Tigers got a few extra yardage. It's going to be 2nd and 3 from the 9 when the fourth quarter resumes. Brian Harder, Bruce Wyrick from Arlin Field. The Battle of Mansfield really hasn't been much of a battle. 35-0. The Tigers with a big lead as they head into the fourth quarter. And looking to add more, Duke Reese has taken over at quarterback for Brock Hill, who played exceptionally well tonight through a season-high 4 touchdown passes. Ran for the other score. And Reese now at the controls. He is the future as the quarterback of the Tigers. He's a really good-looking sophomore. Reese back to throw, fires, and touchdown for the Tigers as Reese finds Quentin Little, the senior. And the Tigers go over the 40-point mark with 11:47 to go in the fourth quarter. Their season high for points this year, 44, and I think they may eclipse that here tonight against Madison.
Yeah, right now you're seeing one team that's at the top of the mountain and the other team is climbing the mountain.
So for Duke Reese, that's his first touchdown pass of the season, at least his first varsity touchdown pass. Putts extra point is up and good. So the Tigers on cruise control, 42-0, and we take a look at the touchdown by Reese, giving him an opportunity to throw the football here in the fourth quarter.
Nice little slant route, break separation, get separation, throw the ball low or only one person can get it, and the result's a touchdown.
So the Tigers are headed to the postseason. They will host a playoff game here next week. We do not know who the opponent is. Overall, their playoff record 7-10, but they're 4-0 here at Arlin Field. They're 0-6 on the road and 4-4 in neutral sites.
Yeah, they play very well here at Arlin Field, the home of the Tigers. The stadium looks brand new. They did a paint job this year, redid the bleachers, added new lights to it. The community has put the money into the facility, and it shows.
And as a little bonus, Jokey Bradley's about to go to 8-4 against the crosstown rival Madison Rams, and that's the equivalent to what Michigan and Ohio State coaches are measured. How are you doing against your rival as you see a nice special teams play on the return by Turcotte?
That was a big-time hit out there. Right now, everything is going good for the Tigers. They're in a situation where they can't do anything wrong right now. And Madison, on the other hand, they're having a jump off sides, holding penalties, and a few other things. I would just like to see Madison control the football and move the markers with no mistakes and move the ball down the field.
Well, we've talked about this in other telecasts. Now, the defense that is on the field for the Tigers, they want to sustain the shutout. And even if there are second-teamers in there, the first-teamers are encouraging them. There we have a timeout taken by the Madison Rams. The first-teamers, they want that shutout preserved.
Yeah, when you look at the scores and you go down and see how you did for the year, those zeros really show up. And, your kids work. Defense, they want the shutouts. Offense, my goal was always put 3 scores on the board. So if you can get your defense to get the shutout and you can score a couple touchdowns, you're going to win the ball games. And as you said, those kids that are out there right now are battling for football positions next year. And to get to go out Friday night on Arlin Field on the turf and play your crosstown rivalry Madison and know you got a whole quarter to play and your varsity players are on the side and you're going to battle for that position next year, it just lights you up.
Mansfield Senior will get win number 5 in the OCC. The best they could hope for as far as the conference, as you see a short gain on first down for the Madison Rams, was a tie with West Holmes. West Holmes going into tonight 5-0 as they were taking on Mount Vernon. In the last check that we heard, they were taking care of the Yellow Jackets, so they're ending the regular season undefeated as West Holmes, and that's probably the only blemish on this season for the Tigers is they couldn't win the OCC. Brooks has some running room on the near side. He's tripped up and out of bounds, and saving the touchdown for the Tigers was Marquise Trochet.
And what you're looking at right now is the future for Madison football. That team that's on the field, majority of those players are back next year, and they're getting game experience right now. They're getting better and better and better. They're playing against a little bit more competitive team against them right now, the defense. The Tiger first team's not out there right now, so these kids have an opportunity to get some positive work done.
Back to the ground, and a nice gain on first down for Lucas Warren, the junior. Warren getting some reps now. Warren is actually their leading ball carrier on the season. Coming into tonight, 81 carries, 447 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But seeing limited action as he now in the ball game here in the fourth quarter. He's a junior. That's Warren again, and he is wrapped up immediately by Cam Butler, the freshman.
Senior High's having some little bit of trouble with no blitzing, so what do they do this time? They load up the box and bring everybody. They actually put more men in the box than Madison could block, and somebody comes through free. This is where a play-action pass would be nice.
Loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 12. Again, the running clock, 8:27 to go.
If you had a little play-action pass and then dump it to the tight end behind your linebackers, might gain you some yardage.
Stupka goes in motion. And that's Brooks. And he's got first down yardage inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. And they are trying to avoid the shutout.
Mistake-free drive. Try and do something positive. And right now, Madison doing a nice job. No mistakes. They're not shooting themselves in the foot. Always positive yardage.
Isaiah Darson made the tackle for Mansfield Senior. Cam Stevens, a sophomore, in as fullback. He's going to get the carry, and he falls forward across the 10 down to about the 8-yard line.
Nice little trap play. The guard pulls. Everybody blocks backside. The guard pulls, kicks out the first man he sees, and opens up a little bit of a seam.
5'11", 215-pound sophomore, Cameron Stevens.
You haven't mentioned the word senior lately, Brian.
Well, Isaac Brooks is the only senior, at least the skill players, on the field right now. They go back to Stevens, and he pounds his way inside the 5, pushes toward the goal line. It's going to be 1st and goal, Madison.
And this is what Madison wants to establish in the future. This kind of reminds me of Dana Woodring's offense. He would just grind it down the field on you. You never knew who had the football.
1st and goal from the 3 as Brock Hill and Duke Reese talk about things on the sideline. The senior passing on a lot of that knowledge, and Tiger fans have to be excited about Duke Reese and the potential he brings. Pitch it out to Isaiah Brooks, and he skates into the end zone virtually untouched, and Madison finally on the scoreboard. First touchdown of the season for Isaac Brooks.
He just kind of outran that defense. It kind of shows you the difference in the speed of the first-team defense to this defense.
So I'm not sure if they're going to actually just line up for the extra point. That looks like it'll be the case. Travis Jamison, a sophomore, will line up for the extra point. Gets the kick up, and no doubt about that. Madison now on the board, 6:01 to go, and the Tigers with a 42-7 lead. So Madison avoids the shutout. And Isaac Brooks, a kind of a bittersweet moment for him as a senior, gets his first touchdown of the season. And that tells you how much Madison has struggled this year. He's by far their best offensive player.
Yeah,
and he had yet to find the end zone.
Yeah, when you have a young offensive line, and I can't emphasize this enough, your football team, your offense has got to start somewhere, and you start with your offensive line. You could have the best quarterback in the conference or, all area, but if you don't have an offensive line to protect him, to give him the time to do the things he has to do, you're going to struggle. And right now, Madison has a young offensive line. They're learning. They're getting better and better every game, and it's going to take some time until you can develop your team. I've been there, done that.
Are they going to go for the onside kick?
They haven't really kicked it deep the whole ball game, so I look for them to give them a little shuffle kick. Senior High is definitely waiting for it.
Well, Dave Stupka basically told me to be prepared for anything. They were not going to hold anything back, and we have already seen one onside kick attempt. Kind of a squib kick. Going to bounce back to Jayante O'Brien. O'Brien to midfield, down to the 40, and he's finally he stepped out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, so that's where the Tigers will take it with 5:28 to go.
You know, the thing that I'm really impressed with, senior high, no matter what level they're at, they have speed out there.
They have speed all over the field on both sides of the ball.
And, boy, what a weapon that is, because you can make a mistake, but that speed will make up for it every time. And they don't have one or two guys with speed. They got a football team full of guys who can flat out run.
Good look at the Tigers sideline, enjoying this win over their crosstown rival. Malachi Mays goes, back to the game. Thornton cuts back, still on his feet to the 20, to the 10, and he's breaking tackles down inside the 5. First and goal for the Tigers.
What a great little run that was. You start out going in one direction, you make a U-turn and head back the other way and do a little slice here and there, and next thing you know, you're at the 4-yard line. Little flag on the play. We'll see what this is.
Nice cutback, and now let's see what the penalty is. It's going to be against Madison. It's a personal foul. So you see the frustration for Madison. And they'll move it half the distance. It'll be first and goal from the 2. Movement on the line, and they're going to move it even closer.
And that's a young team making mistakes. Madison's really been prone to penalties tonight.
We're under 4 minutes. And the Tigers looking to set a season high in points if they can get into the end zone here. Their season high to this point was 44 points. Reese with the fake to Thornton. So he's thrown a touchdown pass, and he's run into the end zone.
And the nice thing about having a big quarterback, you can look over that offense and just see it a little bit better downfield.
Sean Putt with the extra point, and it is up and good.
And I'll tell you one thing, he's got a great leader to learn from. Brock Hill's done a great job tonight. He's worked with the young man on the sidelines, congratulated him, patted him on the back.
There's a future Tiger probably.
Yep.
And the Tigers loving every minute of it here in Week 10, and it's got to taste extra good against their crosstown rival. And as they get ready for next week, again, we do not know who they will play in the postseason, but we know we will be here in Week 11.
I'm looking forward to it, Brian. And, you know, right now with so many teams in the playoffs, you got to play 5 games to make it all the way through. And that's half a football season when you think about it. The regular football season's 10 games. If you make the run all the way, you're going to play another 5 football games. And that's a lot of football for a high school kid.
Tigers with a 49-7 lead, 3:24 to go. Neither team has kicked deep all night long. And this bounces all the way back and bounces out of bounds off of Noah Finley.
Yeah, they could have gained some yardage if he wouldn't have hit it and it goes out. It comes back to the 35, but it hit him, so the ball stays at the 20.
There are a lot of playoff questions, and we will answer them for you on the OH Report on Sunday at noon. Tune into the OH Report with Brian Skoronsky and Travis Berardi for a live playoff bracket breakdown show. That's on the OH Report Sunday at noon, either on YouTube or Facebook. And Brian and Travis will break down the brackets.
And that's an exciting time. Football playoffs.
High school bracketology.
Yes, and it is awesome. You sit there, you break it down, you start looking at who you're going to play, where you're going to play. Are you at home? Are you away? Some of these teams are going to be playing teams they've already beaten or have met during the regular season.
Madison with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They scored on their last possession. And they stay on the ground. Michael Lloyd Jr. gets the carry.
Simple little trap play. Block everybody back, pull the backside guard, open up a seam, but the senior high linebackers were there to fill it.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 as we approach the 2-minute mark of the ball game.
We're getting a lot of shuffling of different players in and out of the game. In a game like this, Choky wants to get as many kids in this ball game as possible because that's what keeps you interested in playing Tiger football.
Again, coming to the near side, that's Lloyd.
Nice tackle.
Actually, it's 33, Zach Dodd, a sophomore.
Nice tackle by the sophomore. He did a great job in the open field with a blocker on him.
Isaiah Darson making a open field tackle. As we approach 1 minute to go, Madison with a 1st down at their own 34.
Brock MVP.
And a quick handoff to Michael Lloyd and a quick tackle by the Tiger defensive line.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit more penetration than Madison can handle right now.
Cameron Carnes in on the stop.
But the nice thing about Mansfield, they're getting everybody in. They're rotating everybody in and out, give them a couple plays here. Friday night against Madison at Arlin Field.
So after this, probably be one more play. And it's another give to Lloyd. Or that might be it. As they may let this clock wind down. So that'll do it. The Tigers with their 8th win of the season over the Madison Rams, 49-7. And we will be back with our State Farm postgame show coming up right after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not both?
Pigskin.
Podcast.
Dude, clean your ears out, man.
Oh, there's so much space in here.
Lender, Craftsman, Dog Dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. And if you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Marc, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Welcome to our State Farm postgame show presented by Super Agent Marc Lamoreaux. The Tigers with a big win to end the regular season, 49-7, and Choky Bradley may have been a little concerned about them overlooking Madison, but they certainly came out. They had some moments where they sputtered a little bit, but overall I would say it was a pretty dominating performance against the Madison Rams.
Yeah, we got one team that's at the top of the mountain, and we got the other team climbing the mountain. And when you have two different teams like that, one's a young team trying to get back into the winning situations, the other one's a traditional winning team, you're going to have, games like this.
Now, they dominated Mount Vernon last week and held them to double digits offensively. Let's take a look at the final numbers for tonight's game, and I don't think Madison fared a whole lot better. 85 yards of total offense, a lot of that coming in one drive in the fourth quarter against the second-team defense. So overall, 359 yards of total offense for the Tigers, 265 through the air. Duke Reese came in and showed some nice things there at the end of the ball game, but overall, a dominating performance. The one thing again, and they had another turnover in the second half, so 4 turnovers for the Tigers. They want to clean that up heading into the postseason.
Yeah, you can hear that old gun, click, 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 click. They reload. They don't have to rebuild. They just reload, and Choky Bradley's got this program going where when somebody leaves, there's going to be somebody to replace him. And when you have that type of feeder system, you're going to be at the top of the mountain a lot. And Madison's working their way out. They're going to get there eventually, but it's going to take some time.
Now, individually, Brock Hill had an outstanding game, 13 of 19 through the air, 193 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also had 5 carries for 39 yards and another touchdown, so that's 232 yards of total offense and 5 touchdowns for the senior quarterback. Now, we saw them back in week 1, and he played well, but that's not the same guy that we saw here in week 10. They're heading into the postseason with a very confident senior quarterback who's, by the way, he's producing at a pretty high level.
Yeah, and, we saw him play Norwalk. Now, Norwalk's a little bit better team than Madison is right now. And the offensive line struggled early in the season. Well, right now, this offensive line is clicking. They're protecting Brock. They're giving him time to throw the ball. But Brock, the thing I am impressed with him, if number 1 receiver is covered, he checks down to number 2. If number 2 is covered, he can dump it off to the number 3 receiver. If 1, 2, and 3 are covered, what's he do? He runs the ball.
Well, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk with Brock Hill and get his thoughts on this game, the Tigers season overall, and the postseason coming up, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more of our postgame show right after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm Marc Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. That's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Time now for tonight's Adena Corporation Player of the Game, and this one was a no-brainer. Sometimes we've had to think about who our player of the game is going to be, but tonight it was a pretty obvious choice. Quarterback Brock Hill, 13 of 19 through the air, 193 yards and 4 touchdowns, 5 carries for 39 yards and another touchdown, so not a bad night. Talk about what the week was like. Obviously, last year, Madison got you guys.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that probably came up a few times during practice this week.
It came up about 5 times in about a span of 3 minutes, so it was coming up quite often at practice.
So you guys obviously did not want to take them lightly and make sure that you came out focused.
No, we came out focused, and we knew if we focused on ourselves, this is what the scoreboard would look like.
Now, we saw you guys back in week 1 against Norwalk, and you played well, and I thought you played a pretty good ball game against them, but now, fast forward 9 weeks later, you look like you're very confident and you're performing at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, I just had to get into the groove of things, but I'm starting to, me and my OC, me and my QB coach, everybody, we're just working together, and we're all on the same page, which is a huge difference.
Now, the thing that I'm also seeing is you've spread the ball around. Tonight you did it again.
Yeah.
You had 4 different guys catch touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Is that something that's taught to you, or you just that an ability that you just have to just spread it around?
It's I mean, everybody's a playmaker out on the field, and that's why they're out on the field. So we don't have one guy where we're focused on getting the ball to. So any choice I make to throw the ball to is going to be a good decision.
There was a rather lopsided time of possession in the first half. Madison had the ball like 3/4 of the time, but when you guys had it, you were efficient.
Yeah, I mean, our defense is going to shut them out, but our offense was very efficient this week, yeah.
Now, let's talk about your defense. Everybody, the offense gets all the hype and gets all the attention.
But our defense is...
Your defense is pretty solid, and it seems like you've got playmakers everywhere.
That's because we do. Our defense is on a whole nother level. I mean, I'd definitely consider our defense one of the best in the state.
So, now, you don't know who you're going to play yet next week, but does it really matter?
I don't feel so. And I don't think our team feels so. I feel like we just need to focus on ourselves, and it's been working for us. I mean, we focused on ourselves for the back half of the season, all OCC play except for West Holmes, and I mean, we've been 5-0 since then. So,
well, that was going to be my next question. You guys hit a bump. You guys lost a couple games, and you guys have won 5 in a row. What has been the difference?
Honestly, I feel like it's been a lot of my play. I've been more confident in my guys. I trust my O-line, trust my receivers to make plays, and that's one of the big differences because the offense, a lot of it does go through me. So when I trust my guys, then we're all clicking.
Well, congratulations on a big win against your crosstown rival, and good luck next week in the playoffs. We will see you back here in Week 11.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Congratulations to Brock Hill, our Adena Corporation player of the game. 5 touchdowns in Week 10 in their win over the Madison Rams. And obviously, this is a matchup that on paper was going to be lopsided. And, of course, Mansfield Senior did not disappoint.
Yeah, we knew this coming in. It was going to be a rough game for Madison. I hoped I could see some improvement on Madison. They've got to cut down on the penalties. They got to find their leaders. They got to hit the weight rooms this year, and they got to believe in what the coach is doing.
I like that Brock puts everything on his shoulders. He feels that this is his team, he's the leader, and his production, as I mentioned, I think it's at a different level than it was at the beginning of the season, and he attributes that to just confidence and trusting the guys around him, and he's got a good supporting cast.
And they develop their character as the season goes on. And, you take a look at a couple losses, that builds their character. They overcame those losses. They become a better team now. They're able to look in a mirror and see what their mistakes are, and they can correct them. And Choki's got them going in the right direction.
Mansfield Senior ends the regular season 8-2. They're 5-1 in the OCC, and Madison drops to 0-8. They are 0-5 in conference play. The final score tonight, Mansfield Senior 49 and Madison 7. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Jory Hollenbeck and Austin Michael. Our stats courtesy of John Davis. But most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final score from Arlin Field, the Tigers 49 and the Madison Rams 7. You've been watching high school football live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions, the future of local sports. For Bruce Wyrick, I'm Brian Harder. So long from Arlin Field.